slow. I don't really be smoking, these are my body taking it personal. I'll stop when I get over this. I hope the effects are reversible. I'm a man, how I'm stressing this, how I get emotional, amen. Whoa, I pray to God, yeah, I pray to God, why I still want to emphasize, amen. Okay, I'm saying amen, amen.
And we're back with Lipz podcast. We have a special guest in the building. Can you say your name first?
My name is Zeyi. I belong to More Value, and I'm happy to be here.
So he's been on 10, sweating and all that.
Yeah, my corners.
That's why I came running in today.
My corners.
So pretty much we're gonna interview him. He's a new up and coming artist.
Mm-hmm.
You do more R&B or hip hop?
I do a fusion. So actually, Miko, shouts to Miko Sky. He kind of coined, I guess where I'm at, which is like a rap soul. You know, and I like that because I have a hard time sometimes describing the type of music I make. You gotta kind of like be there to just really experience it. I'm like really whatever show you throw me on, I'm here for it though.
Gotcha. You kind of remind me when you say that of Tory Lanez. You feel like in comparison?
Tory Lanez?
Nah, I would say it's more of it's like because I have I don't know. I wouldn't say Tory Lanez. I would say more of a I don't know. Maybe if we can't figure it out, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe. I think so too. Because
when
I think of him, I can't really think of anybody else.
Anybody else, right?
All right, relax.
Well, I was at one show. That was the show at the Gateway.
Oh, word.
And that's the one I was posting. So shout out to More Book, No Value. They summit event. And you came on the stage and you was singing. You had a breakfast song.
Oh yeah. So,
and he gave a real old school, soulful type of sound. So I do see what you guys mean where like you can't really compare because not everybody is kind of giving that old sound with a new sound and then kind of mixing it up also.
Some people are, but it's just like the way they do it is different. Like, cause I feel like Childish Gambino, who we about to touch on, he does that. He incorporates like funk, like kind of Bruno Mars. Like everybody does it their own way.
Word.
But at the end of the day, music is recycled anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So you pretty much have your own sound.
Yeah, I would definitely, cause I pull from like a lot of different influences. So I listen to a lot of rock too. A lot of rock, a lot of neo soul, a lot of I actually the genre I listen to the least just overall is hip hop rap.
Gotcha.
So
is there a reason for that?
Well, in the beginning, so when I started off, I was it's crazy. Right. When I started off, my style was that was during like kind of like the Lil Wayne movement when Lil Wayne was bodying everything. So I found myself just emulating what he was doing. And I wanted to step away from that because I wanted to carve out my own sound, and I'm a fan of hip hop, of the culture, but I did want to branch out and start my own sound. So actually, when I went to college, I have a diverse group of friends, and just between recommendations and things like that, it just helped to add to a unique, original sound that I'm trying to create. So I said, man, we're gonna keep with this formula. So yeah, ever since then, that's kind of what I've been rocking with.
So you feel like you not listening to too much of what's going on in the radio and in the airways allows you to be more creative in your own sound?
Yeah. And also, I just don't listen to as much radio anymore, because I don't drive as much anymore. That was like the only time I used to really listen to radio. You know what I mean?
That's real life.
Yeah. That's
real life.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you gotta download the app on your phone.
Exactly. So now my music content that I listen to, and it's also just because of life, how life is, between going to shows and just creating music. Now when I listen to things, it's by selection. So like I'll pull up whatever Spotify outside or whatever it is, and then it's just I'm one of the people, if I have a song I like, I'll just play it back over and over again. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I do listen to hip hop because I do have to stay relevant and hear what is going on out there. You know what I mean? So
do you write your own music?
Absolutely, 100%. I write my own music, and a couple years ago is when I first started kind of getting into actually writing for the purposes of my records, writing for like vocalists. Okay. So that's something that I didn't think I was able to do until
like
I did.
Singers or just
singers? Yeah. Okay. So like Mistletoe, like the hook on Mistletoe and stuff like that. I was like, I wrote the whole entire piece. You know what I mean? And just being able to branch out and do things like that is something that I've been blessed to be able to do. So that's it.
When did your music journey start?
My music journey started, I would definitely say, it started really, I would say in 2009. I was gonna say 2010 because that's the last project I put out was in 2010. Okay. But it started really in Actually, you know what? I would say, yeah, it's 2009, 2008. That's when I put together a home studio in the crib. And I started, that's what really empowered me to be able to start, creating at that level. But still at that time, no one was really banging with me, so I kept quiet a lot. So I just used to create, in my house, hit a lot of open mics, not telling anybody anything. And through that process, I had a couple just real ones. And instead of just telling me, nah, I don't bang with it, I had a close friend of mine specifically who was just like, he gave me, I would tell you what did it. He said, yo, man, I want you to talk on records. I want you to just have a conversation on records, get your point across through records. And literally, this is what he told me. It was in the email. He said, imagine if Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis went in a room together and they could only communicate using their instruments. That's what I want you to do, like, lyrically as an artist. And so that just resonated so crazy. And then the next track I made after that was just like, that defined my style as where I'm at right now. From that point on moving forward, that was how I started making music. So so I had a couple people just in my corner who just really empowered me to step into my own. So
I think like when it comes from a genuine place, because I know Miguel said something similar when he was talking about his lyrics to Let's Just Chill, or what's the chill and some, I think it's Let's Just Chill. But he was saying that his friend pretty much told him like go in there and just talk. Yeah. Like cause he was like he had nothing. He had writer's block pretty much, and he just told him to go in there and talk, and he made like a classic song. So when it comes from a genuine place, it's a little bit more powerful. Yeah. So I want to talk about your song though. I'm not sure the name of it, but you were talking about breakfast and eggs and waffles, and I was hungry as hell, standing there like, damn, this song is good, but like I'm starving now. Word. What's the name of that song and what inspired it?
So that's called the Breakfast Song. So the Breakfast Song is really dope. That was one of the songs that along this path and where I've been going moving forward in music. That was one of the bigger records. I have just big milestone records that have given me the confidence to just continue to push the envelope and really step into my own. So the Breakfast Song was one of those records. And I made it with a vocalist that I had worked with in the past. Her name was Leah Haxey, dope vocalist. And so really we were in the crib with another friend of mine, and we were chilling, just getting wavy. And
you have to clear that
up. We were just getting wavy, we were just chilling. And what happened was we had pulled up to Kennedy's. So we had like a whole bucket of Kennedy's chicken. And so I'm like, yo, y'all down for chicken and waffles? Cause I get busy, you know what I mean? Like make up, you know what I mean? So everyone's like, yeah. And she just kind of starts going off, saying waffles and just saying random things. Waffles, liquor, like whatever was there. You know what I mean? And then I chime in and I'm like, pancakes. You know what I mean? And what happened was after that, I was like, wow. And I started to build out the song. So I built out the song and that was it. I finished it probably about like 2 weeks later. And I had a show. We had a show at Katra for Mace TV. Mace TV had a show over there. And I performed it for the first time. And it hit so hard. I was like, what? Like,
because people like food.
Yeah, that's right.
American food.
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Right. Yeah. So it hit so hard, and that's what I did realize that you know when you talk breakfast is such a common thing that everyone can relate to it. You know what I mean? If you have a song called Hustle and Flow, you know what I mean? Everyone might not be able to relate to that, but when you have something called the breakfast song, it captures people's interest. And then what I used it as, I kind of had a feeling it was going to do that, so I used it as a metaphor. So the hook goes, that's what
that's what I tell all the girls. I got waffles, I got OJ. You know, that's what she tells all the boys. She got pancakes. Bring the girls to the yard, to the yard. Got all the women trying to use like they trying to play ball. Or they just want his balls. He not a player, he just crush a lot. And to be honest, he don't fuck a lot. He just matured too soon. He got a single mother, 4 brothers, 1 bedroom. So he hangs with the dealers. He learns from them. Man to man, he only guards the zone for them. He flip it back, sell it back, then return like them. While his mama home worried by the phone for him. Now he's ratchet, but you ain't heard that from me, nigga. So I'm just sipping my tea, nigga. Saying, that's what I tell all the girls. I got waffles, I got OJ. That's what she tells all the boys. She got pancakes, she got milkshake.
What I tell all the girls, I got waffles, I got OJ. So what it's saying, that the premise of the song is, these are things that I have and I try to flaunt to try to grab attention. You know what I mean? That's what I tell all the boys. I got pancakes, I got milkshakes. So of course I pulled that from Khalees's record. You know, my milkshake brings all the boys together. So you know what that means. So pancakes and milkshake, that's like, yo, you know what I mean? I could flaunt my pussy, I could whatever. To
Why he do this?
I'm just saying. Ain't that where it's at? Ain't that where it's at?
Nah, but you went like this.
I'm done.
He freaking.
It wasn't it. I'm just saying. That's where it's located.
That's alright. We
You know what I'm saying?
You thought the table would have him safe though.
Right. We seen you.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just saying.
That's how pancakes.
That's
Right.
So, you know, but you know what I mean? So, and then that's also why it's two parts to the record. So I tell, you know what I mean, the side from the male side and the side from the woman's side. You know what I mean? So I basically, when you follow the song, when you listen to it, you know what I mean, you understand where it's coming from. So, but yeah, that's how it was.
That's dope, because I've been trying to figure out what that meant too. I thought it was just some freaky stuff, like I got whips and chains and batteries and tape and put your hands behind your back and I thought it was something freaky. I'm not gonna
Nah, it's just, you know, it comes from, it's all metaphorical. So the whole song is basically a metaphor. It's a metaphor for really not being yourself. I mean, that's how people that's how people translate.
The morning after,
people translate it, and I played upon that, you know. So when I do, you know, Silver knows, you know what I mean. Sometimes
I took it as like, all right, you know,
that's perfect.
I had a one night stand and he's a gentleman in the morning. Instead of calling the Uber right away, he actually got your ass some breakfast first. Little juice, what you want first, right? And then we call Uber.
That's smart. That's swag.
And that's so nice. But
Wait, you got so nice.
So nice.
Look, I'll take it. Listen, I'll take, and I played upon that too. You know what I mean? So you know, I'll put on my, when I step on stage. Sometimes the version you have right here, this is a very real version, and also my stage version is very real. They're all me. And when I'm in the arts and I get to speak about the arts, this is the realest version of myself. So to be honest, I'm able to really step into who I am, which is a lot of different things, a lot of different layers. Right. So I mean, you know, Silver knows and the rest of the team knows. Sometimes when I want to get on my, you know what I'm saying, like it's a whole, it's a switch up, it's a bad, you know what I mean? It is a little bit, but you know they call me out on it, which is you know, my team keeps me humble. Of course. But you know,
tell them everything else you do. Let's not be humble right now. Tell them everything else you do.
Word. So I act model. Okay. So I did Fashion Week New York Fashion Week 2018, 2017. So last year was the first time I did Fashion Week. So I got into runway, which was dope. So I've done some print modeling for a couple designers. One cool designer, he goes by Zero Waste Daniel. So that was a cool shoot. And I've been doing commercial work. I've done a couple episodes of some shows out there, Billions, Deception. There's a new AMC series called Dietland that I've done. But that's, again, music is the driving force behind all of it, you know what I mean? But through that, what I've realized is that I have a liking of the performance arts, you know. So that's where the acting comes in.
But it shows too, because your stage presence, when you were performing that song, you looked comfortable on stage. You know, you looked more
he gets into his zone
than most of the people that were performing that night. And you know, it's not to say everybody was great, but you look like you were used to being on the stage. So when you say that, I can tell you're used to being in the spotlight, because a lot of people would be nervous and they'll start but you challenge the stage when you perform.
See, that's exactly what my thing is. I like to connect. You know, if I can connect with you and bring you into my world for whatever that time frame is, I've done my job, you know, and that's really what I try to do. And I've noticed that I performed at on different stages. Sometimes I'll get booked for like a trap show, which is all trap rap, and to be able to step into it with confidence, and no one's going to say anything to you if you're telling your story. Right. And that's also what my music is. My music is the story through my eyes. So there is no true or false. That's what happened. You know what I mean? That's through my eyes. So it's like you pick up someone's journal or diary. If you read an excerpt out of the diary or the journal, you're not going to be like, this is whack or this is good or bad. You can say that, but it holds no weight. This is what happened. This is how I feel. You know what I mean? So that's style wise, you know, where I'm at. and how I make my music and perform as well.
So right now, so you're pushing that song Amen. You did a music video to it. So, you know, you can tell the viewers a little bit about that and where they can find you and find your music.
Yeah. You can find me, everything across the board is Zeyi Says. So I have a website that a lot of people don't know about, but it's zeyisays.com.
Keep it secret.
zeyisays.com, and then we got Instagram, Facebook, Zeyi Says, ZEYISAYS, and Amen is the first single that we've been pushing for off of the project Selfless, which is coming very, very soon. So yeah, we filmed that. A close friend that I've actually worked with in the past for the first music video I've ever shot, called Dark Brown Shades, in 2010 for my first mixtape project that I ever put out. He came back aboard, and the stars just aligned because he was living in Budapest, which is, you know, across the dam.
What the fuck? Exactly. What?
Is that Zeyi? What's Budapest?
Yeah, he was out. He was deep.
The
you know what I mean?
Where is that? Where is that? You gotta pay tolls?
He was in Europe. He was in Europe, across the country, and I sent him the demo, and he was like, "Yo, this is dope." He was like, "But I'm in Budapest."
What's motherfucker?
Yeah, I'm like, bruh, how's that work? How's that gonna work for us? What we doing?
Right.
He was like, nah, but I'm actually coming back to handle some business. So he came back to handle some business, and yeah, we shot 4 videos off of the 8-track project.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, we out here. So Amen is the first one, and it just came together amazing. He was shooting a movie. At that point in time, and he had the crew from the movie. And so it was just like, yo, bro, let's do it. So we got everything together, and we made it happen.
So what's it about, real quick?
Amen is about, again, I make music from my eyes. So what's been happening in me in my personal life. So last summer I got baptized, and that changed a lot of things. You know what I mean? It changed a lot of things for my mind frame, where I was headed, and on this spiritual journey. I'm very honest with it, you know, and if I talk to you about it, I'm very honest with it. And what it comes from is from being trying to be in a spiritual place and move forward in that. But having thoughts that don't align with where you're trying to get, you know what I mean? And
I got that from the song.
Exactly,
I got that from the song.
Exactly, you know what I mean? And that's what it encapsulates. And the thing is, what's crazy is that a lot of people are either scared or they're fearful to talk about that. You know, they're fearful because, you know, a lot of times a follower or someone on a spiritual journey is just like, oh, well, you know, exactly. Which is one of the prime things that, you know, he just didn't teach that, you know what I mean? He reaches out to the broken and the lost, and that's the whole, you know, basis of you know, the way I process spiritual, you know, Christianity. So, but it captures that. It captures that.
Let's just get the hook real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
So the edited version is, Amen. I pray to God, keep away all the facades. Amen. So say, keep away all the fakes, all the things that don't align with where I'm trying to get. Now the unedited version.
The good version. This version.
Right now, blow up. This is your stage.
The Twitter version.
This is your stage.
You know, and also, you know, and this also ties into just the reality of it. And I've had a conversation with also followers, you know what I mean, of this notion of being in church and thinking about other things. So the unedited version is, Amen. I pray to God, but why I still want a menage, amen. So it's that notion, having other thoughts that are really, really, you know what I mean, that you're not supposed to be thinking about.
So
we're human.
You ever had a menage?
No, I actually haven't. I have not. I'm a good boy.
You gonna leave it at
I'm a good boy. Ain't nobody checking for me. Nobody be checking.
Nobody check. That's because you ain't pull your nipple out.
Well, thank you for being here. We're gonna go into our next segment in a few minutes.
Word.
Guys, make sure you stick around. Target practice is next.
Yo, they say if you got a good one, you should try to hold on. If you get a good one, you should just run on, skedaddle. See, you just want some colors, now some niggas wanna battle. Chop a nigga down, pull poignant with the flannel, let it ring in broad day. They don't got no need for camera, wait. Okay, they reloaded, they getting ammo. Why? won't say I told you so. I take the channel high. Obey a different code, a different anthem. I don't play with things. The spirit don't understand it. Y'all making whack niggas cool. You keep on panning them. The way you talk about these niggas, it's like you manage them. Sit back and observe. I see what's happening. Yeah, they need navigation. I'll be the captain. They need ventilation, they need an EpiPen. I'm doing my thing, I got a steady gram. My nigga, I see your chain, that shit from H&M.